Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Game, and 70 Mount Toward the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Conway, Julian's Path. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm saying you were up, and let's go. Alrighty. You tease him, scooting your plate and his fork theatrically out of reach, just in case. What's that supposed to mean? Playful smack against the shoulder. You decide your best course of action is to demonstrate. With a firm blow, your first lands on his shoulder. Lizard immediately turns around to give you one back. Ow! Will you stop that? Oh. In his eagerness to retaliate, Julian's tail is smacked loudly against the pillar Torres is leaning against. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'll do it. You don't want to risk your salmon. You do, though, raise your other hand and make a show of thinking better of it. Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought. He snickers, playing the part of exasperation. You all better watch your fur, or I'll shave it off. You better believe that mess kit has a razor in it. Judging by the reactions of the other three, this threat doesn't land. He doubles down with a scowl. We'll see who's more smackable then. Goes double for you, new boy, stealing my fork and everything. The laugh goes to the group. Don't think shaving you was just some idle threat. He playfully punches the air in front of him. Why, how often have I been surrounded by one of your like, menacing me with their pelts and their fleas? But like that. 1, 2, like a ferocious cornered beast, I strike. He pantomimes the act of shearing, albeit with more enthusiasm than skill, leaving nothing behind but shorn and whimpering men. Shorn? He means shaved, idiot. You lot of uncultured boors. Well, as I said, if the sharpness of my tongue doesn't get you, the sharpness of my razor will. Looking around, he finds nothing but shaking heads. You still don't believe me? No, it's just that it might be the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh. Astonishing, Jules. Not to mention, don't you know how stupid it is to reveal your plans? Guess who's going straight overboard now if this beard goes missing? I'll blame it on James. What? Julian grins broadly, his scales shimmering in the warm lamplight. See? Look at him, too confused in the moment to even think of a defense. He didn't even have a fork. Why would he get shears or a razor or anything? This alibi doesn't delay the lizard for more than a second before he beams wider. Ha! From my mess kit, which he'd already learned to raid, seeking my cutlery. It's a perfect plan. They're witnesses, you know. I've been watching all this. Somehow James doesn't seem the type. Alright, maybe it's not a perfect plan, but it's pretty good, and... He dismisses the whole side topic with a wave of his hand. That's not what we were talking about. Right, we were talking about you getting your smackable little ass kicked for thievery. No, we weren't talking about that either. Where was I? Right, a whole night of stuffing ourselves with Pontefract cakes, a dried meat they'd stored, some pastries they'd already baked for the next day. Looked as if some rats had ransacked the place. Having finished his plate, Samuel lifts his hand up to interrupt again. On the topic of foolish things being done at night, sorry for butting in again, but I think I'll call it for today. Morning watch tomorrow, and you too. He looked at Julian and you, his muzzle turning to indicate his targets. You should do the same. I'd rather not have to pick up your slack just because you barely slept 2 hours. Oh, yes, I guess it is a bit late. Good night, Sam. You take a moment to think about it. Head to bed as well, okay? If nothing else, you begin to feel how heavily the day is catching up to you. Maybe bed would be a good idea after all. Now that you mention it, Samuel. Really? You don't want to hear the end of my story? You get your ass kicked, right? He grins a bit sheepishly. At last, he shrugs. Well, yeah. You hear a couple of knowing chuckles from the others. I suppose it wouldn't be that bad of an idea to get some sleep before tomorrow. He seems to be wavering, though. It is just the first day. Tomorrow, Arthur's going to start really working us. True. All right, then. Look how responsible we're being, Samuel. The maned wolf regards him dryly. This isn't the Royal Navy, Julian. You don't award medals for gallantry like that on the Conway. I'm not doing it for glory, I'm doing it for my fellow crew. He puts his hand on your leg, using it to push himself upright carefully. Alright, you all, it was nice being able to share a meal with you. I'll finish the story next time. You get... interrupts the lynx, waving his hand dismissively. But there will be drama, and romance. For now, though, there will be sleep. Good night, you two. It was nice meeting you, and I appreciate the warm welcome. And the fork, Julian. You hand it back to him as you get up. It's after he fetches out his cloth rag that you realize you didn't wipe it down. For that matter, you didn't have anything to wipe it down with. Oh, don't worry about it, I don't mind. As the main wolf heads towards the berths, he clears his throat. Probably should get that sorted, though. Yes, remind me tomorrow, James. We'll go talk to the purser and get you a mess kit. Now, good luck with it. The main wolf moves swiftly, with the practiced grace of someone who spent more time on ships than either of you. Soon, it's just you and Julian, making your way through the shadows. It really wasn't that great of a story, you know, thinking about it now. Oh? One of your Confederates betrayed us. It's funny. I did get my scales properly tarred after that, believe you me. He gives me a quiet laugh. I've been holding it against him for years now, but it doesn't matter, really, does it? We're here now. That's true. And plenty of people put to sea to escape their past, don't they? Was your first day all that you thought it was? I think so. I'm still trying to decide, honestly. You know where we're going, right? Over at the third post, right? That's what I thought, too. 36 and 37, right here. Anyway. As he talks, he reaches behind the crates and fishes out some sturdy white linen hammocks, passing the end of one to you. We haven't done all that much yet. Are you... Even in the dark, your blank expression must have been fairly obvious. Sorry, I was gonna watch you and see what you did. Julian secures his end of the hammock to one of the anchor points. He does it slowly. You notice, so that you can follow along. 1 second now. Water time. I've been on a few ships before, here and there. Never as a crew, but I guess you do learn a few things. You follow his lead and then help him to begin setting up the second hammock. You do, I'm sure. I promise I'll learn to do this myself soon enough. He smiles. Oh, it's always better with help anyway. Today definitely wasn't as bad as I thought it might be. He starts to pull himself into his hammock, then turns and looks at you. Are you gonna be alright with this? First time for everything, isn't there? The lizard nods and clambers into the hammock. You try to watch his movements carefully. First time for everything, that's right. You'll get the hang of it. Even before making the attempt, you realize it's going to take you quite some time before you can manage it as easily as he. Still, you get yourself into the hammock without making too much of a fool of yourself. You hope. It was nice to meet you, Jules. Good night. Good night. You listen to the sounds around you, the quiet breathing of other sleeping crew and the creak of the ship's timbers. It's all been so new and unexpected. And yet, despite the excitement, you can hardly keep your eyes open. Before you know it, sleep has completely taken you. Day 2. 1 second, y'all. Oh, God. Okay. Got it. Alright. A voice enters your surroundings from some realm beyond, resonating through space itself. You are speaking to someone you know, but whose exact likeness is difficult to place. Her face is strangely blurry whenever you look. Hey! It becomes harder and harder to focus on the person. Your feet begin to feel unsteady with the movement of the earth beneath you. Light enters this world from somewhere else, and in that instant the barrier in your mind is broken, as you realizing that you've simply been asleep. You close your eyelids forcefully, not in an effort to fall asleep again, but to combat the yawn that is sure to follow. It comes in spite of your best efforts. Good morning. The voice sounds familiar, but the haze of sleep makes it so that you can only place it when you open your eyes. There you are, finally! You bring your hands up to your face and rub your eyes firmly. I'm not sure if I'd go that far. You aren't new to waking up early from your life back at home, but it always takes a couple moments and the bed always feels so tantalizingly comfortable. Maybe just 5 more minutes? Now you go to sleep again. I told Sam that I'd make sure you were out. You wake up. You groan and, with a monumental effort, lift your head over the edge of the hammock to look out onto the deck. You scan it for any sign of the maned wolf. I'm awake, I'm awake. Where'd Samuel go? Julian follows your gaze to try and figure out what you're looking for, and he snaps back to you as you ask him out loud. You're getting us something to eat? That's only 25 minutes or so before our morning shift starts. You don't look like you've had the best night. You get up in your hammock and promptly bang your head on the overhead beam. Ow! Fuck! Oh, shit, you alright? He looks at you with wide-open eyes, ready to catch you, as if he expects you to faint on the spot. You rub the top of your head in the hope to ease the dull pain that now emanates from it. Second, yeah? It wasn't that bad. Ow! I may have to change my mind, though. I'm fine, though. God damn, cramped space in here. You're not bleeding or anything? You check your hand and thankfully find no stains. It's alright, Julian. It's just a bump. Phew, I wouldn't even know where to begin, even know where to get you any help. Luckily, you have that fur to cushion everything. The fur isn't some kind of pillow. I'm just not that fragile and can survive bumping my head. It always feels very soft to me. Surely it must help you furred creatures when you knock against something. I mean, I don't know what it would have felt like without it, but it still bloody hurt. Besides, it was my head. It's pretty short here. It's pretty short there. Maybe other parts would hurt less. Aren't your scales hardened or something? Hardened? Do I look like a crocodile? Of course not. It hurts when I get hit. He demonstratively holds his arm out in front of you. Here, does it feel hard? Hard? Who's hard? Samuel's red eyes land on you as he tries to make sense of the topic of the conversation that he just barged into. You don't look so great. Oh, how come? You respond with a little sarcasm, soaking your words. He's fine. He's got fur. He cushioned the impact. I'm sure he is. I'm just not sure if I can entrust him into your care again, Jules. Only for 3 minutes, he looks like a wreck. And how will his fur cushion it? It's much too short on his head. You slide out of your hammock, now feeling weirdly self-aware of your head, with it being the subject of discussion. That's what I've been saying. Julian pulls back his arm, only for you to interrupt him and mention that you haven't gotten to touch it yet. Reaching out, you slide your fingers over the scales of his forearm, and, just as promised, they really are soft. A subtle, oily layer helps the tips of your fingers to glide over it, and he feels comparatively cold to your touch. See? It really is quite soft. Feels nice. The lizard averts his gaze with an expression bordering on bashful. What have I just walked into? Do you, want me to leave you two for a moment? What? It's nothing sexual, you idiot. He just didn't know how my scales felt. It's quite fascinating. I thought it was like armor or something, like a dragon in those mythical tales, where the sword of the knight struggles to penetrate the armored scales. I'm not a dragon. He places a piece of bread for each of you on a nearby storage box, along with a shared plate of cold leftovers from yesterday. Sure, well, you two figured that out. I've been getting us some leftovers for those of us on the morning shift. Hope you don't mind. After you finish touching Julian's arm, you reach for your share of the breakfast and Julian for his. The bread is clearly from yesterday. The fresh crunch that it had was gone by now. It'll do, thank you. So, do I get to touch it too? Oh, so now you're interested as well? There just aren't that many of your kind around. I've never really had the opportunity. Julian doesn't need much convincing and holds out his arm for Samuel, who follows your example and gently touches his arm. Weirdly soft, isn't it? And it's all like that. Julian nods. Some parts are a bit rougher, elbows or knees for example, they're tougher. Samuel tests it right away, pushing Julian's sleeve up beyond the elbow to feel the more worn scales around it. Scales are weird. Satisfied for now, Samuel stops his exploration and Julian is left to pull his sleeve down again. Hey! At least I don't leave hairs all over the place. But you also shed, I'm pretty sure. But not always and everywhere. But your shedding is all sorts of weird in different ways. It's not. It's perfectly normal. Maybe for you. Anyway, we should eat and get ready. I can't believe you two dragged me into this. What, us? You asked yourself! Just because. Shut up. Well done, Samuel. You all are looking ready. Arthur stands in front of you with his hands behind his back. He slowly gives each of you a quick visual inspection from head to toe. Of course. Since I didn't start you three yesterday, this will be your first shift. To give you a little time to settle in and get acclimatized. You three will join Samuel on a larboard watch. We have 2 watches on this ship, so you'll follow the usual schedule of 4 hours on and 4 hours off, with the 2 dog watches from 1600 to 2000 for dinner. The 3 of you nod briefly at each point. You've organized breakfast for them, I presume? Affirmed. Arthur nods in acknowledgement. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all for all I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Silver, and thank you going a bit above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 2 gold tier patrons, Zeke and Toby. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our non-safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!